Trinity Rodman, Dennis Rodman's daughter, she got some worm in her. So she got pause, but she has some she definitely has some Dennis in her. She does like little sneaky dirty things that I like. I'm like, ooh, good. I like that.
I don't care who they put in there at tackle. They gotta deal with it. There we go.
What's going on, sports fans, and welcome back to another live edition of the American Fan 365 podcast. I'm your host, Josh Williams, and I'm here in the studio. Sunny Las Vegas is trying to start to warm up. It's trying, George. We ain't there yet, but it is trying.
Yeah. No, it was a crappy weekend, dude. The winds, I thought my roof was about to blow off. And then I realized if my roof did blow off, what would I do? I really started playing through the scenarios of would I be able to sustain roof loss?
Roof loss.
And the answer is no. I would be screwed, man.
I think that that speaks for all of us. I think all of us would be pretty bad. But yeah, man.
How was your weekend?
It was pretty good. Not too bad. Chilling. Now that starting to settle into no football, I'm starting to have my Sundays back, so that's another day off.
Yeah, fully. You
yeah.
get to recover. Golf's coming soon. Yeah.
Perhaps. The back is I can tolerate 18 again.
Oh, I was talking about watching golf.
Oh.
You got good golf watching on Sundays coming up. I will literally sit down, and I don't care if it's the Cabo San Lucas Open.
Really?
I'll watch it, yeah.
Really? You watch regular golf?
It's like white noise in the background. Literally white noise. Nice soothing silence.
Oh my goodness. But yeah, man, you're right. The players championship is coming up later this month.
Yep.
The Masters is next month.
You already started to see the ads coming out for it.
Oh, you already know that. ESPN and CBS are on top of that from the moment the calendar turns to the next year. It's like, you ready for the Masters? Like, I guess I am.
They last year was Georgia.
Yeah.
Sweet Georgia. And it's like the slow-mo montage of the leaves, and it's just so many great moments in sports.
That is honestly, again, that's where we want the show to go. We want to start being on location, more of these events, especially the big ones like the Masters, the US Open for tennis, different things around the country. Like last year we went to the NBA Finals. I'm going to probably do that again. I'm going to try and make it to the NHL Finals as well, the Stanley Cup Final. But that's where we want to really get to.
The Master. Have you ever been to a golf event or?
I have.
Okay, I've never gone.
Yeah, I've been to two. I've been to have two or maybe three. I've been to the Travelers Championship in Massachusetts. They were a sponsor one year of the Hall of Fame when I was working there, and my boy Ray Allen at the time was in the Pro-Am. So I went out and saw Ray play.
Nice.
And kind of met with some sponsors with the Hartford. And then back when I was in high school, I used to do catering for a company, and one of their sponsors was the Kemper Open. They used to sponsor the Kemper Open every year, and so I watched people come down 17 because where we were set up was like 17. So I used to just sit in there and watch that.
The whole all day, and
and I'm very, very
it's like NASCAR in that sense, where it's just like it's here and then it's not here and then it's here again.
I'm very good at not working while I'm at work, so that was one of those great occurrences. Like, he's like, does that dude ever work? No, not really. If there's something else going on, I'm gonna probably be there. So.
Supervising. I had a phone call. I had a bathroom break. I pile them together and watch golf.
Well, let's go around the world in sports, George. Man, we talked about this last week on last week's episode because we saw it coming. Pause, I guess.
Yes.
But Caitlin Clark officially is now the all-time leading scorer for both women and also men. She broke Pistol Pete's 60-year record, 50-plus year record that he owned. I've already said my feelings about it. That video is actually doing pretty well. It's unfortunate that some of these records have to fall. I was watching a video earlier about, just how many shots a game that he was taking from 3-point range. And then, when you add in the additional games, he would have had over, probably about 1,500 more points over the course of his career. And that's adding an additional year if he played his freshman year, because freshmen weren't allowed to play. So, so those kind of things, it's like,
Dude, no, Cameron even hit it. So we watched a good deal of the Iowa-Ohio State basketball game, which, it was packed. But it was a record. Everyone knew the record was going to be set, right?
Yeah.
And Cameron, my fiance, looks over at me and she's like, wait, for all the NCAA, that's crazy. And then I broke it down. I used the same lingo that you said. I was like, but hear me out here. The guy to her right, no 3-point line, or if it wasn't utilized. And then 3 years of play. And I also told her, I was like, look at all these teams of the people. It's not big teams, because to my point, who else is going to let you shoot unlimited, bro, and go for that level of
volume,
and that's a tough thing to find. That's why Iowa was like, it's not going to happen at UConn.
And no, well, because we got other stars. We don't need you to just go. We need you to be a part.
She's cold though, bro.
Part. Yeah,
she plays bully ball. I saw her play LeBron basketball for 2 quarters. I was like, damn,
okay,
downhill. She is a downhill attacker, but I didn't know. When you watch the highlights, all you see is the strap.
Yeah.
But no, she dominates.
Yeah.
These girls.
Okay. Well, like I said, I'm proud of her. I'm happy for her. I hate that, this would have, even if, because a couple years ago there was a man from I think it was Detroit Mercy or something, and he was close to breaking Pistol Pete's record, and it took him 5 years.
Yeah.
And he
the COVID year.
Yeah, he lost in the in the NCAAs, and it was thank you, good. Because it was come on, man. I don't want anybody to break that record, not man or woman, truthfully. So, but we got a video. Nike did a really good montage of the moment, so I'll let you guys watch.
6 foot from West Des Moines, freshman of the year, player of the year, winner of the Staley, Sullivan, Wade, Lieberman, Naismith, Warden, and several other last name awards. A 2-time All-American first team, 3-time All-Conference first team, 3-time assist leader, 10-time won't miss leader, 2-time tournament most outstanding player, current even more outstanding player. Conference player of the year, player of the month, player of the week, player every minute, owner of the conference 3-point record, player record, triple-double record, the Iowa State Fair shooting record, the women's all-time NCAA leading scorer, and your new all-time NCAA leading scorer, Caitlin Clark.
We have never seen anything like her.
Hey, listen. That gives me chills. That last one, boy, she literally got 2 dribbles over half court, bop, bop, let it go. What?
Yeah.
So she at least did it. It wasn't like Tyler Hansborough broke the record. And it's ugh.
Yeah.
You own this record now. You know what I mean? At least it is someone where it's she has a multitude of highlights. So,
but now we can just say, if you don't win the Natty, all right, and this season kind of went to waste, you never won a championship, everyone's going to be like, how good was she? Was it a Kobe situation where he was like, no, nobody, if the Lakers are going to lose the title, it practically should be Kobe lost the title because I'm not passing you the ball.
I'll tell you one thing. We're running a triangle in 2. I'm sending 2 people at her and saying the rest of you, the other 4, we're going to cover them with 3.
I don't know what Ohio State thought they were doing. You should go back and watch the highlights where you're like,
really?
Are you guys that bad? Like,
yeah, like we're picking.
They were the number 2 team in the nation, Ohio State.
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh,
that's
crazy.
I didn't realize that.
To say the least.
They beat how much they win by? They win
at least by 15. Like it was comfortable. They went on like a 15-0 run in like the fourth quarter.
Good for listen. To your point, my Washington Mystics, please trade whatever we have to trade to get that number 1 pick because I forget where we are. We're probably like 4 or 5, but like give up 4 ones.
Yeah.
Just do it. Whatever it takes. We need another star, and if she's going to be a star, and not only just from the standpoint of we'll win with her, but she's box office. So you're getting someone that's already coming. That's the one thing that I will say the WNBA does have is their stars come into the league as known commodities. Like, oh, that's the girl from so and so. You know what I mean? Like
100%.
We know who Paige is from UConn. She gets in the WNBA. Now we know who she is in the WNBA. The NBA doesn't have that. It's like they have to like build these dudes up from scratch because they were only there for 5 seconds.
Yeah. He blinked. Wait, was it Houston?
Where did he go to school?
Bro, imagine, because you used to play like the game, I don't think it's called Quizlet, but it was like the sports trivia game, and everybody is going to struggle heavily. If you are a master at knowing where these players went to college in the years 2008 to 2025, like you're a brainiac.
Yeah, or you are he that has no life. Like one of the two. Like it's, you know what I'm saying? No, but for real, because like especially all the kids that go to Kentucky, you don't remember all those kids that go to Kentucky. Like he went to Kentucky too. Like it's like dang, Calipari had everybody.
You can make a good guess.
Yeah,
you stay with the blue bloods, and you'll be 50%.
Kentucky, Duke. UConn.
What is Kentucky?
Yeah.
What is Kentucky? What is Kentucky? All right.
Oh, my goodness. Some hockey news. We're rocking the red, but some sad news for my Capitals. Evgeny Kuznetsov, our all-star center, who hasn't played like an all-star center in many years, and his $8 million cap number is finally off the books, or at least kind of remotely off the books. They waived Kuzi over the weekend. He had been actually entered into a player assistance program, which sometimes deals with drugs or alcohol situations in the AHL. They don't describe what the situation is. But us cutting him is kind of like one of the last feelings of that 2018 championship run. So sad bit of news. We got a Kuzi clip. Definitely want to.
That'll run away most of this power play. Teams at full strength. 13
self pass.
to go in this matinee in the nation's
I'm gonna go around all y'all. Buckets.
Up shelf.
Buckets. Yeah, it's sad because that was the skill level that he had and possessed, but he truthfully hadn't been right in about 4 years. So. And in hockey, man, $8 million, it don't sound like a lot in a lot of these other sports. So these dudes are getting 10, 15, 20, $40 million a season. In hockey, you getting $8 million. Oh, you better be scoring.
Oh yeah. No, I've been getting filled in on this. Who's the highest paid player?
Probably McDavid now. Either McDavid, maybe Matthews, depending on if he's gotten his new deal. It was Ovechkin and Sidney Crosby for many years. Ovi, I don't think is number 1 anymore, but I know he's definitely top 5 to top 8.
Right.
Because like once you get into that 10 to 12 million a year situation, like you're sucking up a chunk of the cap, and they have a hard cap. Like they don't have luxury tax and all this other stuff in hockey.
Incentives.
Yeah. So like literally in hockey, bro, their salary cap is to the dollar.
That's nuts.
And so for my team has been like cap strapped for Capitals. We've been cap strapped for probably about 5 seasons, and that's been one of our struggles because we can't do anything. Like sometimes we can't re-sign guys, or we can't really make trades because like literally we just don't have the money.
That's a shame, Josh. Because cap space is a myth in the NFL, and I just believe that in every sport now.
Yeah, no, not
Like,
not
how are
in
you
hockey.
paying? You could pay these players under the table.
You listen, and I feel like that just came up. I can't remember if that came up in the NBA recently, but I know back in the day, like the Timberwolves, they did that with Joe Smith. He talked about this in depth recently, and the Timberwolves, like, they lost draft picks for like 5 years. They were like fined millions of dollars. Joe Smith's contract was ripped up, and he was on like a 1 year, and he ended up leaving. Like it can be done, but you got to be smart about it. Like, if you're gonna do something like that, I would honestly just do it in sponsorship.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you could, because there's nothing to say. Like, a league couldn't really know if it was, hey George, I'm gonna sign you to a deal that's maybe below your value, but you love it here and you want to stay, and then we're gonna give you another $10 million in this sponsor money over here.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's ways of doing it, you know.
You know who's going to need to figure it out? The Chiefs will need to figure it out really soon. Patrick Mahomes is going to lose money. How are you going to give him money? You need to call Robert Kraft and be like, all right, how did you give money to Brady, bro?
TB12 is how they gave money to Brady, but
That's true.
but-
TV shows, movies.
well, no. His because remember his TB12 company was like the they were like the nutritionists and
Alex
some,
Guerrero?
yes, like all that. Like, he was getting like $20 million a year to his company. So you weren't paying me, you were paying my company as a consultant. But to your point about Mahomes, he has that huge cap hit, but actually a lot of it is in escrow, and the way that they move that money, his cap gets diminished every season because they basically just keep rolling it forward and paying him, but rolling it forward, and so so his cap number is never that bad.
Got you.
Did you see that they're franchising L'Jarius Sneed?
Beautiful. Yeah, it was either him or Chris Jones.
So
Chris Jones, what you gonna do? All right, it's too much. I didn't mean to take it over.
It's all right. It's
football
all right. It's all right. No, we can talk about it brief. Because we'll talk about a little bit more football at the end, but just more combine stuff. Chris Jones, I hope he stays because he is the feature on that line, and but this is towards the middle part of his career, so it's like he needs to get the bag. Otherwise, he's not gonna get it. But do you want to win or do you want to get paid? And that's kind of one of those things. I would take the barbecue sauce brand and run personally.
Right.
Like, I could eat in Kansas City for the rest of my life, but I like winning. A lot of people like money. I'd rather win, and it's not like I'm broke. You know what I mean? I made my money.
100%.
But let's see. Switching gears over to soccer, the U.S. women's national team take down Colombia 3-0 in a, George has the video, a hotly contested match. I watched the first half, most of the first half, and then all of the second half. It's just not the same. You know what I mean? A lot of our names, a lot of our girls and women have now aged out. And this new generation just isn't. They aren't there yet. Now, it's not to say that they won't get there,
Right.
But the other women in the world are starting to catch up. But I'll let you roll the clip. Okay, so Trinity.
Damn, walk me through that.
Trinity Rodman, Dennis Rodman's daughter. She got some worm in her. So she got pause, but she has some. She definitely has some Dennis in her. You could see it. I want to see more from her, but she does like little sneaky, dirty things that I like. I'm like, ooh, good. I like that. But
it looked like we were holding our own. Like,
yeah. I mean, listen.
Who was that were playing?
So that's Colombia. Those are the girls from Colombia. We were, so that was Alex Morgan, captain, and long stay on the women's national team, and then and then Trinity Rodman. But we had some young girls show up yesterday, young women. I need to stop saying girls, young women. But it was a good match. Now we've got to take on Canada in the next round to move on to the final. This is the first W Gold Cup. So we got some more work to do. So we'll see.
Yeah, no, I'm just waiting on when United States will be good at soccer, because I like bragging about us, but like you guys are making it really hard year after year. World Cup, I never see us. Like what? And I know the World Cup isn't every year, but it's like you guys make us excited.
I mean, well, look, our women have been. That was always the most exciting thing. Like our women dominate.
Yeah. Well,
but the men.
And then we had everyone retire.
Yes, but listen.
What have you done for me lately?
Shoot,
is the question.
They gave us a run in the late 2010s, early 2020.
What have you done for me lately? That's all I'm saying.
That's all you're saying. Oh my goodness, Q Janet Jackson. But Jake Paul takes down an actual boxer in Ryan Bourland. Ryan Bourland was 17-2 coming into the match. Now he's 17-3. First round TKO. Ref jumped in and stopped it. Bourland never looked to even mount much of a challenge. George has the clip.
Strong's landing everything.
Missing with it, and there's the right that lands. Bourland right now looks dazed and confused. Jake looking to end it right here and right now.
Blowing his load early. You could have just. You can't do that.
Round 1 knockout.
Strong's landing everything.
He didn't look good.
Missing with it, and there's the right.
He did not look good. But first things first, what in the peacock skirt was Jake Paul wearing?
That's gross.
What in the name of that was an abomination? Like, what are we doing?
No, that's boxing is so. I'm over it.
Over boxing.
Francis Ngannou is the only person that could bring boxing back. How crazy of a statement is that? Man's boxed once. Mans has boxed once. And he's the only person that could save boxing.
He's saving boxing for you right now, George. That's it.
Oh, if Francis Ngannou knocks out Anthony Joshua.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. It's back. Boxing's back.
So this Jake Paul match wasn't a big deal to you.
It used to be. I was following it pretty intently. Like I watched his Tommy Fury fight.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that he's not good, but it's like I know what high level boxing is, and I know the politics that go behind boxing. So I love the guy that's going against the grain when it comes to the politics, and Francis Ngannou.
Yeah.
Because I think boxing is just that. Like you should be a fighter in any regard. And the fact that he goes from MMA to there, I'm like, oh, no, you're the greatest of all time.
Listen, if he messes around and gets any belt, one.
Greatest of all time.
Yes. You definitely, like, and that's crazy, but that's not far-fetched.
Jake Paul will never get there is what I'm trying to get to. And that's why I can't buy into this.
Well, it's interesting. Some people are actually saying, like, he will be a world champion. And you know what is crazy as that does sound, George. Remember, he is like mid-20s. He's not old. He also there's enough different organizations and federations in boxing.
Yeah, for him to get a fucking cheap belt. But boxing is just so broken.
But is that a wrong statement then?
Yeah,
like,
but I'm still gonna tell my kids, because this is what matters, right? Your legacy and how people tell your story. Yeah. Jake Paul beat the shit out of people that were kind of like tomato cans. Yes, he did beat some UFC guys that weren't seasoned boxers.
This one was 17-2 professional.
Okay, I get it. They're 17-2 professional, and I know how people get a 17-2 record.
Well,
it's how Jake Paul is getting his record right now. It is fighting shitty opponents,
fighting nobodies.
You know you can win. That's the issue.
I'll say this though: if he is able to keep fighting real boxers and keep winning, as his, because like this one, I didn't know who Ryan Bourland was. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like
Josh, you're fine. Nobody knows who he is.
Yeah, basically. But I could be wrong. Maybe we're wrong. I haven't followed boxing well enough at this point, so I'm not even going to portray that I have. But if he is able to start fighting, even if they are, if he goes on to like maybe some has-been people that are in it, but they're still names and they know how to promote a fight.
Yeah.
If he beats one of those, even if it's a has-been, that's still like if he like okay, I don't know what division he fights in, but say
Welterweight, I think.
Okay, so
170s.
not a Floyd, but like say he fought Manny Pacquiao
Yep.
and beat him.
It doesn't move the needle for me. Like,
Wow.
No, I don't know.
Wow.
Maybe I'm just being extremely hard because I listen to what boxing purists tell me, and they're
Yeah.
like, yes, he is a competent boxer, but is he a championship level boxer? No way in hell. Like it takes a level of training
For
that
years.
that he just hasn't experienced. And now he's a great promoter. And if I know anything about boxing, you need to be able to sell the tickets, and as long as you can do that, you can make any fight happen in the world.
And you can make
Right?
it and you can make it look world class. That's fair.
Yeah, and so Francis Ngannou could save boxing. How crazy of a statement is that?
All right, switching over to and I'm going to let George take the lead on this one. George, 10,000 players plus are officially opting into the new CFB 25 EA Sports football game, and they are quote getting $600 for their NIL, their name, image, and likeness, and a free copy of the game. Is this fair?
100% is fair, Josh. I everybody's dream. Joey, how's it going? Good to see you, buddy. I used to play youth basketball with him, the dude who just walked in the door. So
okay.
yeah. But anyways, for a player to be able to get into a video game, get a free copy of that video game, and get some change, you got to think it's 25,000 people. You said you're going to do the math for me and everything, so you could see
10,000 right now.
it's 10,000 people, right? But I'm saying total players in the game, you're probably thinking like 20,000.
Okay.
My brother has opted in.
Yep.
He told me he has. And I asked him, have there been players that opted out? And he's like, yeah, on his own team. And I'm like, what reason do you think they have? And he's like, I don't know, bro. Like for certain people, it's a bigger issue. And I think that is what you're going to highlight to us. For me and my brother, when we grew up playing NCAA together, like religiously, so many core memories I have playing that game with him. It's a special moment for us. As soon as he had the opportunity, dude, that's a badge of honor.
I feel you.
And I feel like a lot of those kids don't feel the same way. And it's a video game. It's not like a fucking car sponsorship. Like, I don't know. You can make plenty of other money doing other things.
Well, here I'll slowly just bring it back to this, okay? Because I know that we had talked about this a little bit before air, and you kind of highlighted a little bit. I feel like this is a pimp hoe situation personally. And my generation, I guess the reason, because one of the people in one of my group chats was calling me an old head because, well, none of the kids are complaining, and that's the problem. The reason we have unions, the reason that I feel like college sports should have unions, there should be a basketball union of collegiate athletes, there should be a football union of collegiate athletes, there should be a baseball, and so on and so forth. The reason is because corporations won't. They'll either, if you want to make the game, you can make the game with player number 12. But if I'm player number 12, he better not look like me. Maybe he should be white. Maybe he should be really, really dark. But he better not look like me, because I will sue the brakes off you, because that's still me. You know what I'm saying? And I'll say this. So $600, right?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and run these numbers. Let me run the numbers. I got it in my history because I did it earlier. Let's see here.
Josh is currently calculating.
Okay. All right. Yes. Currently calculating. Okay.
NCAA 2025.
All right. So I said
$600 per player.
I said 10,500 just to give us, because they said 10,000 plus. So I'm just giving me a round number.
Yeah.
10,500 times $600 is $6.3 million for those players.
Got you.
A free copy of a game that they no longer have to press and master, because we don't buy discs anymore. They just are hard drived. So they don't even have to do anything. Here's your link. That was it. So that cost me nothing. That cost absolutely nothing. So 6.3 is all that they're giving, right? Okay.
Correct.
So what I'm saying is So for Madden Ultimate Team, FIFA Ultimate Team, and NHL Ultimate Team, in 2022 to 2023, EA Sports made $1.62 billion on those microtransaction game elements. We've talked about it. I don't know if we talked about it on this broadcast, but we've talked about it in terms of, we know that microtransactions, whether it be NIL in the game or jerseys or something, will be coming to NCAA in some way. So if we're saying that we potentially are worth $1 billion, right? George, at 5%, so that means EA still keeps 95% of this revenue. At 5%, the players still would be getting $50 million that they would disperse over the course of all those players.
Got you.
That they should have some form of rev share in their deal. If you want to pay me $600 up front and that's cool, but I should have some kind of, it should be you eat, we eat. It shouldn't just be I eat once and then you go ahead and just spin this forward and just keep eating off my name and my back the rest of my life. That isn't fair. That's being a hoe. Just saying.
Yeah, no, I get what you're saying. There's been monumental changes though, right? Like you have to make it clear right now to me, just so I know, because there has been a huge change in NIL and the fact that players can make huge lump sums of money up front contracted.
Yes.
So that's a enormous plus. Now, a game in which it hasn't been released in 10 years, while all these things have been worked out, it probably will be the highest selling game this year, as long as GTA 6 doesn't early release.
Just doesn't drop.
But other than that, what if they worked in some sort of NIL component? And I was thinking about this as you were saying, like, you better not be making endless dollars on microtransactions from my name.
Yeah.
But it needs to find a way to be linked to the players that have signed up. You're willing to use my name, image, and likeness. Well, any microtransactions for my school, like let's say you want your player to be decked out in Arkansas stuff, should go to Arkansas football. And there should be a fund set up for NCAA microtransactions through EA. I think this can be worked out, and I think it will be worked out eventually. There are a lot of people that are saying they don't want to be in this game. So yeah. I think you are on the majority, believe it or not.
I mean, well, and that's kind of the reason why, because that is spitting in my face. That's spitting in my face and telling me it's raining. That's not right. It's because you're going to make like $6 million. $6 million? Bro, come on, bro. Come on now. We you could say whatever you want, but $6 million and we're going to make $1 billion that's not the same. I don't care how you spin it, how you tell me, you know what I mean? Not for me to just say, I'm in the game. He said EA Sports, it's in the game. I'm in the game. Just to say that? Nah, okay. It can't be me.
All right. And if I'm going to be like just a dick about it, these players aren't doing anything. These players are getting sent $600 and a free copy of a game that's going to have them in it, which is, if anything,
amazing.
It's a blessing that they're making a game about you. Now, beyond that, that's all you have to do. And then be really good so they can boost your overalls. The people on the back end that are doing a lot of work to make this happen, like, it would be interesting to see what Kirk Herbstreit gets, and that other
and Chris Fowler
and
they have like Desmond Howard's in the game. They have probably, I think, like 6 or 7 broadcast people. I don't know if they have multiple booths or not.
They've been working countless hours. We're talking months and months on end. So
years.
Then count that in on top of all the testers and the creators of the game. I'm not saying that these things aren't like important to say that these players should be getting a lot more than what they're getting, but it, I think, opens the portal for more NIL deals now that every dad is going to have to buy their kid NCAA 2025.
Now, do you feel like it's fair that Kirk Herbstreit or Chris Fowler gets like $1 or $2 million to have their voice in the game?
Yeah.
You feel like that's fair in relation to
they understand what they're selling, and I think it's something, because I hate to bring it to, like, it's something bigger than just that $1 million. Like, no, your name and your voice is going to be used throughout the
universe,
history of time.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have cemented a legacy. Yes, the compensation is nice, but they got $1 million because ESPN's paying them 20 or, whatever it is.
Wherever it is.
They're fine.
Interesting.
They want the legacy. I think these kids should think more about like the legacy. It's dope. This is the first time it's ever done. I mean, everybody would create the rosters, import the rosters so they can have the same name.
Have the names, yeah.
It's
used to.
Dog, it's going to be sick. I cannot wait.
I'm excited, but pay the kids.
It's going to be QB number 11 on every team.
It would be QB 10 over here. I'll tell you that. I will tell you that right now. I would not say Williams on the back. I'd be looking dead at the camera like, no, Mom. Like,
I do
we
think
didn't get paid.
This is something, if you truly feel some type of way about it, there's something to be done here, Josh, with working the NIL in. And as long as you're the person who's leading the charge, it'll happen.
Unionize. But without further ado, we have to take a quick ad break.
Chicago children need a role model in their Bears quarterback. Chicago children need Justin Fields. Caleb Williams is a Washington, D.C. insider who became a West Coast elite. Justin Fields is a Southern gentleman who shares our wholesome Midwestern values. Caleb Williams proudly displayed curse words on his fingernails. Is that the kind of language we want our children to see? Justin Fields promotes healthy nutrition and supports small businesses in our community. Caleb Williams is obsessed with sugary, unhealthy candy. Who do we want as the face of our franchise? Another DC elite pushing profanity and obesity on our unsuspecting children? Or a man of the people?
Vote Justin Fields.
The fact that people make content like that makes me so happy because like nobody's paying him to do that.
Yeah.
No, that is out of the heart, dude. I could feel that. That was a great edit.
Justin Fields. Vote Justin Fields. We might have a second read later on in the show, but switching gears over to the NBA, our NBA segment today is brought to you by our friends at Coco Love, the beverage of choice of the American Fan 365. Head over to www.cocolovewater.com for your own case of coconut refreshment and use the code TAF365 for your discount on Hawaiian Beach vibes. Hydrate with love. Grab a can of Coco Love today. Well, that I have to crack another can because I've already drank my first one. All right, George. Jalen Brunson goes down with a non-contact knee injury yesterday. And I just have to say relax, Knicks fans, because I had about 10 Knicks fans text me yesterday right after it, like, the season's over. It's over. We can't do anything now. Jalen Brunson just tore his ACL. And I went and saw it, and I was like, bro, they clashed knees. It wasn't non-contact. They bumped knees. He got a real bad knee bruise, and he'll probably be back in a week or so.
Let's see the injury at hand here.
Brunson, his first
Give
shot
me a
up,
break.
and he
What?
landed awkwardly and immediately grabs at his lower leg.
That's how down bad Knicks fans are, bro. Like they had like one little ounce of hope. They're like, oh, this is it. Finally we found our point guard, Jalen Brunson. And then you want him to sit out. Are we crazy? Like the Knicks are in a good spot right now. Heal him up because if you run him into the ground before the playoffs like you did last year, you guys are going to get bounced. So relax.
Please relax. When I first saw it, it did look bad. Not gonna lie. When they showed 4 or 5 other angles, ESPN has to hype it up like, oh, he can't walk and he's this and oh, he's struggling to get to his feet.
They know how to get New Yorkers going, dude.
When I watched it again, I was like, bro, they bumped each other. It wasn't non-contact. It wasn't like he was cutting and then just crumpled to the ground.
Yeah.
Like he bumped knees. It was knee to knee. He'll be fine. But let's see what we got next.
How about them C's, baby?
Is this the end of the Golden State Warriors? 50-point loss to the Celtics. Steph Curry, 4 points, 0 for 9 from 3. It was a bad game. George, this is your team. Do you think this is it for the Golden State Warriors?
No, they're dangerous, dude. They just got to figure it out. They're a shooting team. They had an off night, and the Celtics exposed them. And so as far as the Warriors go, you guys are still going to upset and shock people in the playoffs. That's just a part of the brand of basketball you've built. You know the moment is not too big for you. It's going to be bigger than a lot of these teams in the West that are rising, Timberwolves. So they're fine. I don't think it's like overreaction time. I do think the Celtics are that good. And Joe Mazzulla even said it after the game in the locker room where he was like, this is you guys at your absolute best. We're either going to continue to play this brand of basketball, which is a dangerous thing to tell. You're a coach, right? You never want to tell the team this is your absolute best, but because there's always one step forward. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, and look, if I'll say this, as a coach, if you say that, what you're basically also alluding to is that this has to be our expectation. This has to be the standard. Now, are we going to hit the standard nightly every time out? No. But if you can see what your standard should be, well, okay, let's hunt that. And then now as we hunt that with more regularity, then okay, well now we've pushed the standard up further. And that's how you get better. One of my teams, my last undefeated team that won a championship, I started forcing them to beat teams by 40. If we didn't beat someone by 40, we had to run until I was tired.
Nice.
Because that was the standard, because I didn't want us playing down to the level of competition.
Right.
I wanted us to the point where it was like, okay, you guys need to win by 40 every time out. And I'll tell you the teams that this is going to be a tighter game, but you have to set what the expectation is. And if that's what the expectation is, what we saw last night, then listen, we move forward with that.
Yep. I feel confident in the Celtics this year. However, I do know that playoff basketball is just a lot different than regular season, and there's going to be a lot more physicality that I'm excited to see how Kristaps handles himself in a playoff situation, since he is not playoff proven. And that piece right there is why I really regretted losing Robert Williams. Having that playoff acumen and knowing what that moment feels like and the physicality that comes with it, Kristaps is either going to put up or shut up, and we'll be able to find out relatively quickly. I think he's done a good job this season, but Boston fans are ruthless too. You have a bad stretch. Ugh.
Yeah, and he's never really dealt with that.
Nope.
Truthfully, because remember when he was with the Knicks were hot trash juice. So it wasn't like he really got that level of pressure. It was more like, oh, we could be decent right now. And they just, but they still were kind of middle of the road. And then he goes to Dallas with Luka, and there's no real pressure.
The pressure's on Luka.
Yeah, there's no real pressure in Dallas. Then he goes to DC, and we weren't good enough. There's no pressure in DC. So you're right. This is the first time that he's even had to experience that. So outside of just the pressure of the game itself, now the vitriol of the fan base, yeah, that's a very, very fair point.
It's the only thing I'm worried about with the Celtics, because they should have the biggest point differential in, I think, NBA history if they keep doing this.
Wow.
I think I saw the stat. They're the only team in NBA history with 3 50-point wins in a season, that's tough to do. That's Josh Williams coach basketball right there.
That's the standard.
That's the standard.
They're 48-12 right now. Is this their year? It could be. And I wouldn't cheer against them. Obviously, the last time they made it to the finals, it was against Steph, and Steph's my boy, so I was obviously pulling for him. But if they go, as long as they don't go against the Clippers or somebody that's never won, I would probably pull for y'all. I don't have any problem with that. I can cheer for Green. That's no problem.
Yeah, it's Jason Tatum, dude. You've been waiting to see Jason Tatum win a title.
I haven't, but it's if he won, I wouldn't be upset. It wouldn't be bad.
For the Mamba legacy, he's the only person that can in Los Angeles not be like fully hated.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Except they hate him, but that's It's like for the true Kobe fans, are like Jason Tatum's got a soft spot in Los Angeles fans' hearts.
Well, and I don't even know if that level. I don't feel like that level of hate is still the same between Celtics and Lakers fans. I feel like it probably still is in Boston.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the same in LA anymore. They've had, because like really think about it, outside of when they had to play the Celtics 2010s and Kobe's last 2 championships, they had 3 more titles versus non-Celtic teams in the 90s, early 2000s. I want to say their last title runs with Magic weren't against the Celtics. So like it's been a long, long time since they were the only 2 teams in the NBA essentially.
Yeah. And Los Angeles has gone soft. That's a whole nother point.
That's not a lie. It's not a lie at all. But switching gears, the Sixers grab a big win Sunday with a victory over the Mavericks. They are, George, 4-8 since Joel Embiid went down. And my question is, can they stay afloat? Can they keep the ship afloat until Embiid comes back? They have a really, really tough stretch in March. They only have 4. They're only playing 4 teams below 500 this month. A lot of solid teams. I won't say a lot of the elite teams, but a lot of like really solid teams they're playing this month. They're gonna have to get some wins because they could easily fall out of the playoff picture entirely.
Yeah, what are they sitting at right now? They're sitting at a 35-25 right now. This is the beauty of the NBA. It don't matter until playoff basketball comes around. As soon as you got Embiid, you are a 1 seed type team. So it doesn't matter. And I think he'll be even playing better than if he was to wear himself out all season. So it's not a bad spot for Sixers fans.
If they can keep it out of the play-in, it's not a bad spot.
Yeah.
But if they get down in play-in territory and they got to play all those extra games and you're rushing Embiid back like, oh, come on, Joel, I feel like that's a lot more dangerous. So they've got to play, I'd say maybe a step above 500 basketball the rest of the way.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if they can at least be, you said they're 35-25 right now.
Yep.
If they can get to 50 wins, 50 to 53 wins, if they can do that without him, I think that they'll still be a force in the playoffs. But if they end up with like 47, 46 wins, it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough going.
Agreed. Philly is very upset with the way their teams have been performing over the last 7 years. So ever since the
last generation,
ever since the Doug Peterson Super Bowl, they're just like, oh, we are always playing second fiddle. This sucks.
Always. Russell Westbrook broke his hand over the weekend for the now 39-20 Clippers. This quietly is a huge loss. Russ had been playing really, really well. Had been the leader of the second unit, and then also in their main small ball lineup. He actually had been playing center, George.
No way.
Yeah, he had been playing center just because of his rebounding and being able to push the pace. This is a big loss because Paul George is always PG broke up. But it puts more strain now on Kawhi and on James, and we're gonna see. What do you think about this injury?
This ruins my take of Norman Powell winning Sixth Man of the Year because now Norman Powell is potentially going to get some more starts. Yeah. I would imagine so. I think the Clippers are going to be my favorite team to bet on in the playoffs because something tells me that early on against, the tougher competition or alleged tougher competition, they're going to be at plus money and I'm going to make a killing. It'll be like the Chiefs situation where, logistically, the Timberwolves on paper might be a 1 to 2 point favorite. And then that's how I'm going to rake up cash. NBA playoffs.
I'm still trying to figure out if Kawhi has another gear anymore. Because if he
that will be interesting to see.
If he still has that other gear, George, I think that they'll be fine. But we haven't seen it consistently enough. Like he'll show flashes, but he hasn't had to like put on the cape because he's had so much help.
Yeah.
But if he's healthy and he's 100% recovered from all of his injuries, he's still Kawhi Leonard was a top 5, top 3 player in the league.
With the way that they have their team set up, though, he can't. It's Paul George's team.
Ooh, God, you think so?
After watching a lot of their games, like, I don't know if there's anybody more consistent out of that trio than when Paul George is on. Like, Paul George is the person that the ball rotates through. And not saying that they can't alternate and take turns with it, but that's part of having a superstar team. Like, we will never experience Kawhi Leonard of the Toronto Raptors because he's put himself in positions where he doesn't have to do that shit. You know?
No, that's fair. That's fair. And that still, to me, is probably one of the greatest performances I've ever seen in my life, because that man was dragging a leg. Everybody was acting like he was cool, and I'm like, you don't see how he's running like this?
Yeah.
nobody's noticing my man's on one leg.
They're like, oh my gosh, he's just off balance all the time. It's just he's throwing the defenders off.
Kawhi was killing that year. Oh, and he made Joel Embiid cry. He made multiple players cry that playoff run.
Yep.
Dang. Yeah, playoff Kawhi was different. George, we have one more ad read from the political opponents.
Oh, wait a second here.
Yeah.
This ad read just came in across our desk.
There it is.
We got the Justin Fields love, but what about our man Caleb Williams? I don't think it's fair that there was one made and we didn't get another one. So
need a quarterback to take them to the next level, who isn't going to run away when the pressure is on. Caleb Williams is the franchise quarterback Chicago needs. Caleb doesn't flee at the first sign of trouble. He sticks it out in the pocket when the going gets tough. In college, Justin Fields ran away from the Georgia Bulldogs to Ohio State. Caleb Williams owns Bulldogs because he's the pack leader. What are you running from, Justin? The truth? Did I mention his middle name is Skyler? Caleb Williams didn't run away from the coach that believed in him, and he'll be loyal to Chicago. Justin Fields started a vegan diet in college. Now, he's a pescatarian. Make up your mind, Justin. Chicago Bears need a quarterback.
Wow.
Hey, shout out to whoever made those for real. Like, you literally are, you are the real MVP, sir. Those are great. I saw those earlier today.
It came from Lauren Cox at Cox Sports 1. Give him a follow.
That seems like a mistake to me. But sure thing, yeah, definitely. That was a great job if your name really is Lauren. Switching gears, George, over to the NFL. We're gonna close it out with the NFL today. Who made a move after the combine, NFL combine over the weekend? And of course, it was the people that actually competed, George.
Yeah, no, it's crazy how that works, right, Josh? Like you perform well on camera when everyone's there to scout you, and you go make a lot of more money than if you weren't going to do that.
Your stock goes up. It's interesting. You show what you can do, and your stock goes up.
So Caleb Williams didn't throw, correct?
No.
He didn't do anything, right?
He didn't do anything.
So then this is the greatest part. He was there, though.
And he didn't even get measurables because he's like, all the NFL teams don't need my measurements. I'm only going to a couple. What?
My man's bro. That's just
bro, I'm trying to tell you, bro. Like, that's why I'm just so off all these quarterbacks. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I don't like it. I don't like it because you're showing who you are. You're showing who you are, and my parents always tell me, if somebody shows you who they are, believe them. And if that's who you're showing you are right now, when the money hasn't even really come, like now some of these guys, Caleb, obviously, I think he was getting like $10 million this year.
Jesus.
Yeah, he got $10 million in NIL. So he's already gotten some money, but now that's crazy. But now the big money comes. And, yeah, man, I don't know. But we do have some highlights. This is Mr. Xavier Worthy breaking the all-time combine record.
Place was fired up.
He might just keep running right out of the stadium.
The roar of the
The NBA or the NFL Combine is usually silent.
Yeah. 4-2-1, because officially it was 4-2-1. He broke John Ross's record, which still isn't. I don't know why they do this, because Dion and Bo ran like 4-1-8 and 4-1-0. Like, don't say that this is the record. Just say this is the record since we've been having it in Indianapolis. How about we just do that?
Yeah, I was struggling to find because on Gridiron Junkies I made a post yesterday of like who had the slowest time in NFL Combine history, and it took me a while to find like what the real answer was, because there's, I guess, to me the NFL Combine didn't exist. Like even when Bo Jackson and Deanna are talking about it, I'm like, no. Like, it's just no different than a pro day back then. Like, the Combine turned into something bigger than a pro day, when, in 2000? Like,
when it was at the RCA Dome, probably it's in the last 20 years since it's become, like, something that's televised and people actually tune into. But yeah, man, it's absolutely crazy. Did you see Tom Brady actually ran a faster 40 at 40+ than he did when he was coming out of college?
Shocker. That's modern medicine at its finest right there.
That's pretty impressive. I'm not going to lie, man. You 40+ and you running faster than you were when you were 22.
Can I also highlight that he was coming off a very hard season and he had to run that 40 at the Combine a couple of months after his season was over. And, you know, I think there was like wear and tear on his body. This is a fresh Tom, dude.
Fresh Tom.
Tom's been running on the beach. He got on turf. He's like, I'm fast.
JJ McCarthy also showed that he's more than just a quarterback in a great situation, in a run system. He actually he performed really well and is now looking to jump up the line and be a first-round quarterback as well. Actually got some video of and this was new. I didn't realize they started doing this, George. They actually started clocking players' velocity, so we'll go ahead and take a look at that as well. Bo Nix out here throwing heat.
Devin Leary.
60. J.J. McCarthy, 61. So he's got an arm. Joe Milton, 62. So he's got an arm, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see. I mean, you know, I do like that. That's pretty cool, because that was the first time I've ever seen them do that. So that's actually clocking players' arm talent, not just placement, but just how hard you can throw.
Right.
And that's going to help some Madden rings, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, yeah, easily, right? Because you're just like, what is it, throw power?
That's right.
And they can only judge it off the deep ball.
That's
and it's
right.
like, no. Throw power means if I can fit it into a window.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
I saw that, and I was like, ooh, velo. Interesting. I'm going to see who's okay, so we're up at about a 97 then, 97 throw power.
Yeah, dude, and the fact that they could also calculate how fast these players are moving now makes the Combine look good. I heard that was because I watched the offensive line to see what they make these offensive linemen do. First off, is the most ridiculous stuff in the world. They have them start off on their back, flip over, and then side shuffle to the right, side shuffle to the left, go back, come up, go back. So it's like basketball drills, but for a lineman. And I mean, I was like, this is weird, but you can see like how slow they're moving. They're like 5 miles an hour, 4 miles an hour. It was pretty cool.
But I guess the thing that they're calculating in that is your agility, your ability to move laterally both directions.
Yeah.
Do you have a slower gait going this way? Okay. How explosive are you? Because, you know, football is all about explosiveness. So I think flipping and that kind of stuff is hip drive and that, you know, little things like that they're starting to break down.
Yeah. I could see where you can see where the uncoordinated people are, like without a doubt. You could see who were the athletes that played basketball that knew how to do like defensive shuffles and back pedals and stuff. Mm-hmm. I just found it to be weird. It's like, here's the thing. You showed me an hour and a half of them doing that stupid ass drill and I didn't see a single person bench press. What's this about?
That's stupid. That's stupid.
I want to see big guys do big guy things.
You're right. And you know what? They should have something more like O-lineman centered, whether it's like pushing a sled, how fast can you push X amount of pounds, X amount of yards.
Yeah.
Like things like that where it's like, oh, okay, he's got to do the sled push for 30 yards. Can he, you know, and then what's the speed? What's the rating between there and there? That's more actually conducive to knowing what you can do on Sunday versus me shuffling my feet.
Yeah. Give me like for a bubble screen, you know, sometimes the tackles will pull out and then go hit a corner.
Yeah.
Set up a sled 20 yards the other direction. Let me see him pull around a couple of cones and smack the shit out of a sled.
Yes. No, but that's real life. That's pulling.
Yep.
That's pulling. That's moving laterally and explosiveness downfield. Like, yeah, no, 1,000%. I love it. Well, thank you guys so much for tuning in to another episode of the American Fan 365. If you're watching on Instagram, please make sure you hit that like and follow button. If you can share it with your people, it really does help the channel. Still don't know if they can share a live or not. We're still working on that. Thank you. Shout out to YouTube and shout out to Instagram for giving us a platform, as well as, let's see, what else we got? We got Spotify.
Spotify, Apple, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Google Podcast, Amazon Podcast. Literally tell or maybe your Alexa's on in your room right now. Alexa, subscribe to the American Fan 365 podcast. It may have worked, Josh.
I love it. Well, thank you guys again, and we will see you guys next time.